Welcome again, Roots Reggae Radio. We call this one conscious thought. We look at situations around the world, and like many of you out there, we're seeking answers and we're asking questions. And I get to vent here every Wednesday, which is a blessing for me. First and foremost, I want to send out our love and our condolences to the family of Terry Brown. Terry Brown is a man who used to host the Marcus Garvey Day events in Toronto for a very long time, and then they just kind of fell off. And I guess one of the reasons they fell off was because many of us in the city didn't have much of an interest in the words of Marcus Messiah Garvey anymore. Maybe we felt they were irrelevant to our time, which could be no further wrong because they're most relevant now. So I want to say heights up to Terry Brown. He passed away this morning. I actually was able to spend an hour with him on Sunday, and we actually held hands the entire time. Strong grip. And his legacy to me was to maintain us and to upload my experiences of reggae music on a website. So when I die, my story is there. Not my bio, just maybe incidents and events and what have you. And every other reggae person are gonna upload to this blog, and this story will be ours. So 20 years from now, they can't tell you a story. It will come from what we have done. We have somehow been able to write our story, and that was Terry Brown's last wish to me. So I will do the best I can to carry that forward, you know? I'm feeling more and more to fight, so I'm going to play the song that makes me feel strong and fight for what I must fight for. Z Mystic, give me the anthem, please. And there's no sound in the headphone. Oh, sorry.
The tropical winds say hello.
Go, go. Yeah, man. Kabaka P. The youth there, no? The youth there. Them the youth there. Big man. RasTafari Lions. Them man, they give a man hope. As a younger generation of Jamaican. Because I play the anthem for you, because that anthem, it makes all of us chest swell up. No matter where we hear it. Or anywhere we see we flag, we really love what we see. But we reach a stage of life where these young lions, Kabaka Pyramid, Evermar, Chronix Protege, Kalissa, Escolivi, Blessed, conscious, them conscious of what's happening to the planet, and this is the reason why reggae music is attacked. These are the reasons why, we speak a truth that you can't get on CNN. Terry Brown was a Garveyite. He spoke these truths. Many used to argue with at times, but it was always with him. Upliftment of black people. So, Kabaka sing about well done politician, well done selling out our country. That is what the Jamaican governments have done since so-called emancipation, from our first prime minister to the current one. And The only two prime minister, one was a prime minister, but Norman Washington Manley was the reason why Jamaica tried independence. He was the one who was he was a lawyer. He wrote the whole thing and pushed for independence for Jamaica because he wanted better things for his country. And then them son come in and talk about democratic socialism, and America was smart and sending the CIA and tell people about communism, and then get people to fly out to Miami and then blame Michael for it. He just get vexed one day and say, yeah, I don't want to leave, go. Jamaica will survive. Jamaica still survived. Not as well as I'd like it to, but it's still there, you know? And a lot of the people, including myself, who was in that exodus, I have been asking you now to take a look at our country and what has been done, why we were exodused out of the country. See? What is it about Jamaica that them feel the need to abuse the country as much as they do, and why we as Jamaicans around the world sit back and watch it and allow it to happen or continually happen? I'm asking my fellow Jamaicans worldwide to take a look at what's happening to our country. The same thing then when I'm do to Syria with gases and vaccines and chicken gun and no money and dollar bill less than a penny and murder rate and domestic abuse on the rise and cocaine and crack. And a lot of the people cannot read or write. Illiteracy rate high, murder rate high. It's a system that has been going on for a long time. This is not news to any of us. What are we Jamaicans abroad doing? So, finally, the Prime Minister decided to say, I'm going to go to house a parliament there and apologize for the murder of RasTafari people. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play it for you, see? And then I will address some of the things that I think need addressing. So, Zay, run.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Parliament yesterday making supposedly to be a formal apology for what happened to RasTafari in 1963, talking about the Coral Gardens incident.
Mr. Speaker, in my budget presentation on 21st of March 2017, I committed to making an apology for what has come to be referred to as the Coral Gardens. One which occurred at a time in our history when our society was more reflective of the colonial era. Mr. Speaker, the violence carried out at Coral Gardens, leading to the death of civilians.
And now we'll continue again. Yeah, I just wanted to pause it for a second and to bring to your attention how Mr. Holness said that it is reflective of a time, of a colonial time, of a more brutal time, as if that time is any different to this time where we are living now. So when you start the conversation, I just want to show you the inconsistencies of the crap that a puppet is in place to degrade his country, but he's supposed to be the leader. So, make the thing continue, my brethren, run through. This is important for the audience to listen and see what the truth is. See? Yeah. Back to the speech itself, if possible.
Oh, we're not going to speak?
No, I need a speech. I want to continue the speech from that point where where I asked you to pause it. So if we have to start it all over again, I will do so. And I won't pause it again. But yeah, I want the other to listen to what I want. Alright, run through.
Violence flared up at Coral Gardens, leading to the death of civilians and security officers. Significant personal
Yeah, can you
injuries
pause it? You go
and
to the beginning again?
destruction of
And then after
property.
that, just scroll it down.
It has been a source of pain, of great pain and hurt for the Rastafarian community and generated bitterness and resentment over the years. Mr. Speaker, the incident stands out as an example of the use of violence by the state against its citizens. This month would mark the 54th anniversary of this incident. In fact, April 11th would be the 54th anniversary. Mr. Speaker, though this has happened some time ago, more than half a century ago, if we are to truly change our society from being a violent society, then we must, Mr. Speaker, take ownership of the wrongs of the past and make genuine attempts at correcting them. We cannot restore life. We may not be able to restore property that was destroyed. And we certainly may not be able to heal those who suffered. But it is important that the state acknowledges when a wrong was done and commit sincerely and solemnly not to allow these wrongs to happen again. Today I'm honoring the commitment to tender an apology. Mr. Speaker, the public defender has published a report on the tragic events that took place between Thursday, April 11th and Friday, April 12, 1963 at Coral Gardens, a farming community 10 miles east of Montego Bay. The public defender's report provides an official account and analysis of the Coral Gardens incident. We wish to acknowledge and recognize the report as an important first step in our national effort to reflect on, in a very focused way, an unfortunate chapter in our history. Mr. Speaker, the Cabinet, subsequent on the report, appointed a subcommittee to review the report and guide us as to what we should accept from the recommendations in the report. I would like, Mr. Speaker, to thank the public defender in doing the report, and I would also like to thank the members of the Committee of Parliament, of Cabinet rather, that reviewed the report. The committee was chaired by the Honourable Derek Smith, the Honourable Watty Grange, Honourable Mike Henry, the Honourable Dr. Horace Chang, the Honourable Delroy Chuck, Honourable Favour Williams, and the Attorney General, Ali Malcolm Ford, were all members of the committee that reviewed the report. Mr. Speaker, today's statement marks a milestone in Jamaica's history and development. As proud Jamaicans, we value and honor our present-day constitutional democracy, built on our rich and, in many instances, painful heritage of struggle and suffering. However, notwithstanding the inhumane treatment and repression, there were and continue to be narratives of resilience, many still untold, of great achievements for those who endured. We have been able to draw on these experiences to hone an unbridled creative imagination that has presented to the world unique and innovative sounds, images, icons, and a way of life that have brought us recognition and pride. Pain, born of the past, however, still resides in the hearts of many. Fellow Jamaicans, the Coral Gardens incident was a grave injustice. The government acknowledges that the machinery of the Jamaican state evolved out of an era when it was considered appropriate to utilize the heavy hand of the state against citizens. Today, without equivocation, we apologize for what occurred in Coral Gardens.
Well done. Well done.
We express our regret and sorrow for this chapter in our national life that was characterized by brutality, injustice, and repression, which was wrong and should never be repeated. In expressing our regret as a people and as a community, we have taken a symbolic yet courageous and pivotal move, which means that we can face the future with renewed hope, with increased resolve, and with a true spirit of reconciliation. In keeping with our Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms, which amended our Constitution in 2011, the government of Jamaica assures this great nation that we will continue to strive to ensure that unjust incidents and discriminatory actions such as occurred at Coral Gardens are never allowed to happen again.
Well done.
Whilst I know that this cannot erase the brutality, oppression, and injustice which was meted out during the tragedy, I am comforted by the willingness of the members of the RasTafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society to keep the dialogue going. I'm happy to have finally reached the point where we can discuss concrete and tangible actions which can ease some of the heavy burdens that survivors and the community have faced. The actions agreed include the following. 1. The public defender is to be asked to continue the work that our office began in terms of locating survivors and gathering important background social information about them and their families in consultation with the RasTafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society and the Member of Parliament for the area. The office will utilize the list of survivors provided by the RasTafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society as the base for continuing the work. The Coral Gardens Benevolent Society will be given advice and assisted in accessing resources and benefits for its members that are already available through a number of avenues. 3. A trust fund of no less than $10 million will be established for the benefit of survivors of the Coral Gardens incident. And in this regard, I will work alongside the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service and all relevant stakeholders to ensure that the fund is set up properly and with due regards for the needs of those it is meant to benefit. And 4, in keeping with the principle of cultural preservation, 6 lots at the property in St. Catherine will be declared by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust as protected heritage sites and will be developed as a RasTafari village and cultural center. Once again, Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank the members of the RasTafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society and all who worked in putting together the report and preparing the apology and coming to this point where I can stand in front of the Parliament, facing the people of Jamaica, to make a solemn and sincere apology for the wrongs of the past to the people of our country. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for overstanding.
Yeah, I thank you for overstanding. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. Overstanding. Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaking to the legislature, whatever these people are, and making a formal apology for what the government did in murdering Jamaican people in 1963. What they didn't tell you yet is that that was also about money. They raided millions of dollars, possibly to the tune of billions, in compared to today's money, because Rastaman did sell whole heap of things, including ganja, and couldn't put the money in a bank. The Jamaican government knew what was there, and that's what they went to get. And then them also beat up RasTafari because maybe they didn't want to buy into the whole Christian Jesus business. Leonard Percival Howell wasn't going to have that. Leonard Percival Howell was a Garveyite and also spoke very well, very eloquent, and supposedly a very charismatic person. Was the gang guru. He was the original gang. And so the Prime Minister of the GLP made an official apology to Rastafari people for the murder and slaughter of Jamaican citizens in 1963 in Coral Gardens. In doing so, that is an admission of guilt. So an apology is wonderful, but then you're saying, yes, we're guilty of it. No, you know how shifted the politician fingers can be, so we're not sure who we really are, but we'll go back to the beginning. The first Prime Minister in the new nation of Jamaica after independence was the GLP, and it was a man named Alexander Bustamante. Yeah, for Western, I'm trying to be compassionate because the anger runs deep. It's one thing when we bitch and complain about how white man treat we. See? It hurts a whole lot more when a black man does it to you on behalf of the white man. And it's not really a black man because back in them days, the Jamaican Prime Minister couldn't be black, he had to be light skinned. That was that was a choice by the people of Jamaica, you know. Anyway, so him give an apology, and that says admission of guilt. And if you do something wrong, there must be some retribution of some form of punishment to the guilty party. And that would be the Jamaica Labour Party itself. Saying, no, me is not PMP defending. I must point out certain things, you know, just bear with me, because him have a bunch of reparations. Him say $10 million. Is that 10 million Jamaica money? That's about what? 1,000 Canadian dollar? Really? Wow. Anyway, maybe just go on and say, sir. The number one henchman at the time was Alexander Bustamante, on the behest of the colonial ruler, which would have been Buckingham Palace herself. He was quick and willing to go to Coral Garden and wipe out as many as he could, because he said, I may be paraphrasing a little bit, but everybody kind of remembers, if the jails can't hold them, the cemeteries will. So he gave out a standing order to the Jamaican police to shoot Rastafari on sight. He was happy to murder Rastafari people. Man, woman, and children. Yeah, I said woman and children too. And murder them too. We man can take a beating, I think, for what we choose, but when them murder our wife and our children, you know, I don't know how you can even make reparations for something like that, but I will continue. Like, what would make a Canadian murder them people today? Oh, they already do that. Native people. Sorry, I missed that one. Alright. Rastafari people take a path of self-sustenance and choose a spiritual path as well, praising Haile Selassie I as opposed to an oppressive white Jesus who has only murdered black people. Rastafari people see a path, a more spiritual, gentle path that doesn't kill us and make us feel inferior within the religion. Black Baptists in the United States feel less privileged than white Baptists, trust me, in every religion, but not with Rastafari. Everyone is one, see? So, you murder people because they didn't follow Christian faith. That's what they said, you know. But I really the money them that go after. Hundreds of millions of pounds, they said, was taken from the settlements. Hundreds of millions. There's a number somewhere, and even today's number, it's an astronomical number that they took from the camp. Rape, murder, and plunder. Alexander Bustamante was a pirate. And there was no different than Henry Morgan, who still a rape Jamaica because I'm named up on my rum. And none of the money I got Jamaican people. So them still a rape with. You know. I would say most of our Prime Minister them have worked on in regard to the colonial and, you know, whatever they want to call it, the shadow government or what have you, I don't care. All I know is that everything they have done has murdered Jamaican people. And I've said it last week, next month, I'll say it again. If Jamaica is to change for the better, Jamaicans from around the globe must be willing to help. Whatever it is we think is we should follow it, we need to band together and help to make our country better. What our people are living in is foolishness. And don't tell me I just saw it go, because we know better now. We can actually help our country. We can help with education to our children. We can help with better hospitals. We cannot leave it to our government. We have seen historically what governments are about. They are hired, they are like bank tellers. They're hired to take care of this branch. See? They're told to do what to do so they can earn them money. And most of it has nothing to do with the people or uplifting them. It is about paying down on a national debt of money that doesn't exist, that we are forced to pay for our own resources. They get you to pay for the use of the land that you're living on. Yet it's supposed to belong to Jamaica, Jamaican people. We have been easily duped and abused for decades, well, centuries now, I guess. And we act like we're doing no. See, if we're going to change Jamaica, everybody has to get involved. It's a humanitarian thing, it's a Jamaican thing. We love the flag and we love the country. So I just reaching out because I want to get vexed and cuss and say your fault and GLP and PNP and who is this and that and blame somebody. But at the end of the day, I was tired of the murdering and tired of the killing, and I'm proud of Jamaican, I'm proud of Jamaican people. Saying, I am Canadian as well, and I have much pride in Canada. But the colonial mentality is not serving Jamaican people well. So we need to change it somehow. So, what was it? I didn't want to attack Mr. Wellness, but I know I did that, because maybe somewhere in there is some kind of truth. Him say in the colonial times, the heavy hand of the law. It heavy same way today or not. Police and soldier murder same way today as they did back there, not no change. So nobody talk there. Come talk some real talk here, sir. Maybe this is the point where Mr. Wellness is saying he wants some help from the RasTafari community. So maybe this is an opening dialogue where Jamaican government, the colonial government, the bank teller, is starting to recognize that the rest of the planet have more respect for RasTafari people than they do for the Jamaican government. Eh? Look how things turn out sometimes. Maybe more talk to it, Maybe we should. The Rasta people, is the time now for us to sit down and talk to the government, and show them why we turn up for what we turn up, and teach the children to turn up and start homeschool and all that kind of thing, and build with people, And another part of the reparations I want, is to have Alexander Bustamante removed from my hero circle. By making an apology of guilt, you also have to point out the criminal who murdered these people. Don't just say there was a murder back in 63, 54 years ago, and we're apologizing. No, King. We have to call a spade a spade. We have to talk who do the murdering. You can't insult Jamaican people by making a henchman a hero to the people. What? We're celebrating the murder of Jamaican people now? No, man. Alexander Bustamante need to come out of hero circle. Then we take him to Buckingham and put him up there and give him back him Sir Alexander. Keep him. We don't want him. We don't want Alexander Bustamante in our hero circle. And that's why I'm forcing Rastafari people for really say to the government, remove him. And when they remove him, maybe we sit down and talk to him. Otherwise we shouldn't. Alright. And this is Rastafari people worldwide, It's not just in Jamaica, Because they must going to give reparations, They would have to give. Most say we have to go to Jamaican people. But the Rastafari people in the US and the UK, all over Africa, Canada, Japan, all through the West Indies. And if we go send some money to them, the people there, because them go through enough too. See? Because how you murdered us years ago. The respect level at some points for some of us in certain places aren't the same. Them respect the doctrine and they make them respect how we turn up strong and how we try to defend the lion, We must also let in the lamb. Don't worry about just the lion alone, masculine and feminine. We always say them thing there. But a lot of people go through a whole heap of things to Rastafari. So I'm just I say, Mr. Bustamante needs to leave my hero circle. See? And I want the item take up a petition worldwide. And that is just one part of it. Jamaican people worldwide. If I even told people I said this, that's why we film it. So when we put it up on the internet, it have the opportunity of being seen anywhere, anytime, seen on YouTube. If Jamaica is to elevate, we need your help. It can't happen just from the government. There are many of us out here who are proud of it, and we're not happy with the murder of our people and our children and the fear that they live in daily. and the fear that our women live in with abuse, and our children. Big love to the government to say something, you know. I don't know why them say, because we're so cynical in this day and age, we believe them up to something, eh? What them really want now? Why would they apologize, and why now? What is it they're coming with? Is it having to do with the ganja, where them want maybe put a ganja, a RasTafari label on the Jamaican ganja, making it more enticing to the world? Because more people that buy the Jamaican RasTafari ganja, if that symbol was on it, you know. Maybe them see the money RasTafari can make, but is any of that money still coming back to the country? I man respect so-called law and order, you know. But when I respect them when them murder and I people. So there's a willingness respect you for saying something, but the Rasta people worldwide, if we want to make change, we make change. So Zaya, I'm going to touch that tune there, you know, just a while. I have a message for the them saying, run tune, my brother.
Now in comes the musical thing from the King's offspring, Jessica. Some people you're right, and them still choose to show you hate. Run them out of your yard, from them I play bad young. I them a bad fighters, hypocritical to stylers. We call them modern day Judas, the spreaders of rumors. Oh, them a bad fighters, hypocritical to stylers. We call them modern day Judas, spreaders of rumors. Hey, so why should I be afraid of you when you bleed just like I do?
What I'm not doing that.
When you try to fight, judge a light keeps shining too. So I've got no time for you, cause in my view you wanna step in on my shoe. You wish you never leave alone. Feel that I'm confused. How every day you wake up. Now in comes the musical thing from the King's offspring, Jessica.
Break it down and tell the people.
Some people you're right, and them still choose to show you hate. Run them out of your yard, from them I play bad young. I them a bad fighters, hypocritical to stylers. We call them modern day Judas, the spreaders of rumors. Oh, them a bad fighters, hypocritical to stylers. We call them modern day Judas, spreaders of rumors. Hey, so why should I be afraid of you when you bleed just like I do? The more you try to fight, judge a light keeps shining too. So I've got no time for you, cause in my view you wanna step in on my shoe. You wish you never leave alone, feel so damn confused. How every day you wake you ache because you know you're fake, and every step you take I bring you closer to your grave. But I am like a column when I'm easy to shake. The certain say I feel me run out who can't take. We guided by the monster, defender of the faith. Yes, ordained to be great. Oh, them are bad fighters, hypocritical to stylers. We call them modern day Judas, the spreaders of rumors. Oh, them are bad fighters, hypocritical to stylers. We call them modern day Judas, spreaders of rumors. But your teeth and tongue gonna let you down. Reward for your words shall be profound. I'll screw all you want, but I'll do and drown. Mislew you like a liar with a stone from a crown. Not even the dog that is set on the wall of Babylon shall escape in this time. So word to the wise, choose the right side, and down to be hindered by your foolish pride. I said no weapon formed against I and I shall prosper. So tell me some force right and more God have disrespect and face disaster. Cause them a bad fighters, hypocritical to stylers. We call them modern day Judas, spreaders of rumors. Oh, them a bad fighters, hypocritical
track there. Addis Ababa, Willie. Yeah. I'm going to go from today music to way back music. So Willie Williams, Addis Ababa. Go to that one the next. I'm just going to see a little quick thing and then we'll play Willie Williams.
But I absolute me, them can't pollute, cause them are backbiters, hypocritical, two-siders. We call them modern day
Judas.
spreaders of rumors. Oh, them are backbiters, hypocritical, two-siders. We call them modern day Judas, spreaders of rumors. Oh, them are backbiters, hypocritical, two-siders. We call them modern day
Microphone.
Judas.
Them are working tonight too the same way. Yeah, we send message with music too, you know. And that just what I talk about, you know. We really want to believe them people, you know. Yeah. Rastafari lead the way. Yeah, tune. They might tell you say modern day Judas. Them are backbiters. Saying, I'm not saying that's what Mr. Wholeness is, you know. But our history to date is what it shows. Leonard Percival Howell was, he ended up in Bellevue, you know. Bellevue is a mad people hospital. We used to be afraid of Bellevue when we used to drive past it. It's like sometimes we don't want to duck down in the car. Because we don't want the mad people to see it. Because we're afraid of them. They put him in Bellevue because he would not denounce his faith in His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. They said there's no way Jesus is a black man. No way Christ come back in a kingly character. You have misread the Bible. Haile Selassie I is not God. And Leonard Percival wouldn't bow. So he ended up in Bellevue. The founder of RasTafari is the price we pay. So I want to know Mr. Wholeness. Really want to know. After you paid the 10 million, like I said, which is about something like 1,000 US. After you pay that now, for the lives that were taken, what do you pay Leonard Percival Howell and his family for the mental abuse that you put him through? Not you personally. We Jamaica, Jamaica. We put him through that. We make somebody beat up on our own people and send Alexander Bustamante to come after we own people. So I want to know you want to defend Leonard Percival Howell and what kind of money it would take to appease that situation. So I play you some tune with message, you know. So I'll give you the next one before we call up Lee Marshall. He's coming up on the second week. Last week we had such a wonderful interview. We'll do it again this week. So that one, yeah, I'm a friend Willie Williams, you know. I'm more like that tune now. Addis Ababa. Yeah, we're back again. Yeah. Again, that was talking to Lee Marshall. You hear him talk about the whole when he was going to Jamaica. The people who live in the country could walk on the beach as well, the same beach where the tourists then walk on. So there was an interaction with the people and people from abroad, but you know the shitston don't want that because they don't want no intermingling of the people them because the people will find ways to elevate self. The less they know about their suffering, the better it seems for them. So why not abuse the people with their colonial foolishness that we have had accepted for way too long? Anyway, so friendliness, rather Rastafari against domestic abuse. I haven't said much in the past few weeks because I guess kind of let things, peter out. I'm learning through this experience. And the more I talk about it, the more I realize how brainwashed most of us men on the planet are as it pertains to our treatment of women. For some reason, we still believe we can just brutalize them. Virgins and sistren, because the abuse goes both ways. I'm learning that a lot too. It sounds easy to say it, but I do it. And if anybody you know that knows me, go and ask them. If me and you cannot click, I walk while I you know. I don't care how in love we're supposed to be. If it not working, if I don't elevate you and you don't elevate me, just walk and save the abusive business, Some people have different expectations on relationships, I'm aware, but the abuse, rather Rastafari against domestic abuse. My stance was and is about the behavior and the behavior of any man abusing and beating a woman on a weekly basis is cowardly. Get that clear. I'm not saying that there aren't reasons that drive certain people towards abusive relationships. Sometimes, as we have mentioned previously, some of the people, both husband and wife, man and woman, come out of abusive relationships from their own communities. But I have received many private messages from the start of this whole situation I'm trying to accomplish here. It's just more about education, I'm not coming at it always with a whole heap of aggression. I want to fight everybody, That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show you that the behavior is cowardly. It's a fact. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no way you can actually say, well, boy, me at the box her, because she said something. No, okay. If you touch a human being to get your point across, your point isn't worth having. Your parents should have taught you that, but because they didn't, I'm telling it to you, so you better go tell it to your children. The act of abuse in the home is cowardly. There's no other way to look at it. So, some man get upset because them say me I call them coward, whatever, man. You deal with it. You deal with it. If you did it only one time, it was one time too many. But it was a constant thing for you, and you want to vex with me because me I call you upon it, it's your problem, King. I believe what I believe. You believe something different. You think it's okay to lay your hand on the people, okay? The way I do. But I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to speak openly. I'm going to say what has to be said. I have 4 daughters. So me I put out the word out there for now, because I really want a boy to come out and touch one of my daughters and then come back to me and tell me say they didn't really know me that well, because I'm fighting hard for everybody else's daughters and sisters and moms, and I'm fighting hard. All of us man, I'm asking, imploring other man to get up and fight. And show that man them say, yo, a coward thing that's in our dream. See? So, Nanny Mystic made a tune, and Friendliness got a hold of the tune, and all this tune had was the vocals and the guitar. So everything else you're about to hear, Friendliness built in his studio, home studio, right? It's just a remix, it's not for sale. But I asked him why he did it. And then he said, well, it was a pretty big deal in our community when it happened, meaning the murder of Nanny Mystic. And I could see that a lot of our friends and fams had been deeply affected by the loss. Also, people were starting to open up about their experiences, because some of the sisters then really started to talk about the abuses that they were facing up to this point. So it was a big shift in how we spoke or didn't speak about domestic violence. I personally wasn't familiar with her or her music, so I searched out what I could find and found that song. Even without the circumstances, it's a beautiful song. But then, put in context, it feels like, wow. I feel like that should be part of the guy's sentence, that he should have to listen to that song once a day. Right? Was really motivated by the poetic beauty of it. Had the keyboard out while I was listening and started out with the bass line. Everything else just flowed naturally from that. So I went to the studio, recorded it, and I know you like, I like your melodica style. So yeah, and put in like a melodica in it, saying. So before I play the tune for you, it's like, it's the eeriest thing, but I get the impression when you listen to her lyrics, Nanny Mystic knew she wasn't here for a long time. I think she already knew. So it makes it more heart-wrenching and, again, slightly eerie to watch the events unfold as you listen to the lyrical content of this song. You will catch me as I run tune selected.
What's the name of the song?
Nanny Mystic.
Yeah.
You see it there? It should be on the other side already, I think. It's the one that Errol had brought over.
Right, it doesn't have a name on it still. Today he brought it?
Yeah, today's stuff you downloaded.
Yeah, I just don't know the name of the track. You have to tell me.
Yeah.
There's Modern Day, there's Every Day is a Blessing.
Every Day is a Blessing, I believe the track is. Yes, Every Day is a Blessing by Nanny Mystic. Sorry, my brother.
Yeah, man. The name ain't there, you know?
I thought it had her name on it as well.
Yeah, some of them do, but some of them just have the track up alone. Myself, you know.
I really thought it had her name on it.
I'm gonna put a name on it now, though.
We're gonna pick some tune. Pick some tune on my side. Alright, like sorry, right? Alright, there's a lot of things. I just feel it.
gonna say something and then you're going to around the tune. I like it when everything come back and people will back you. I was going one and two. Some tune never play last week, but they want to hear. Give me a microphone after that tune and then just play Blessed Siren and I come pick some too. Alright. I said Blessed Siren is Escalivi. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So friendliness just heard this tune, you know. I said, boy, you know, my virgin, she get to sit down and listen to that tune there every day, you know, and things, you know. I'm going to run a tune just before you have to slide. So I'm going to play some more music tonight. Put down the Siren by the one called Escalivi. Just when the tune how hard with it in a king. Alright, join. Them coming forget Hold tune, yeah. That was Escalivi. I always wanna big up the Canadian and the reggae artists them who had the good things around the world. See? Man just win him 5th Juno with that tune. And one of the Juno nominees at the time also was my Adrian Blessed, who the song he put in the race was about domestic abuse. So I run that tune for you called Cry Every Day. I'll defend the thing.
No more?
I'm coming.
In all different poses, I see to you like you're my eye Moses. No one them want to a verbal abuse you, or make you feel like I never him choose you. Him not gonna know where him have till him lose you. When him disrespect, make him know you deserve the very best thing. Life, you get special treatment. You're not supposed to dead on your station. It will make you cry. Give you no affection. I know I push it down to the ground. Girl, make you put your body inside of the earth. They will make you cry every day. He don't give you no affection to the ground.
Yeah, you cry, boy make you cry every day. If your husband make you cry every day, there's something wrong, eh? You don't need a psychiatrist to work with that program. See, the communication today in our lives isn't the greatest. Most of us are the possible worst communicators because we keep everything to ourselves, because we keep the cards close to our vest because you don't want nobody to know how you feel, and then because you don't want to let out your feelings, you carry them around. Rasta. The whole thing about a relationship as a human being, we are physical beings, okay? I get it. We are physical. We have shells. I should say that. We have physical shells, but we're actually spiritual beings inside of a physical shell because we have moved away from the spirit and the soul of who we are, and because we have needs for physical upliftment all the time. It is why we are lost. It is why we can't change. It is why we can't get along. It is why black people don't like white people, don't like Chinese people, don't like Indian people, don't like Muslim people, who don't like small people, who are tall people. That's how it works. It comes from the spirit and the soul. If you don't tap into it, you'll never change. It has nothing to do with your government. It has to do with you personally.